I said, hey, yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Mohados, and we're back with another video. Hope you guys are having an amazing new year. Happy New Year. Just started, and the market is super green, up 2% on the market cap, and Bitcoin itself is up about 2.8% as well. Very nice to see. We're going to be talking about everything Bitcoin, what you guys can expect, what's going to happen, and of course, we do our best. Of course, not as financial advice, but I want to preface this video, guys, to share with you that back last year, we called the bottom on Bitcoin, okay? And I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but the reason why I preface a video like this is simply because, there's a lot of stuff out there, whether you're following X, Y, or Z person, but I try to do my best to use logic, data, and reason, and I'm going to be doing that throughout this video to give you guys, why I believe the market is headed where it is. Disclaimer, Bitcoin maxis or holders may not like this video because, again, I'm going to tell you guys what I believe. Back when I was bullish down here on Bitcoin, most of you guys were calling for 12K. And even after Bitcoin came up to 25K, and we ranged at this level, guess what? Everybody also called for 12K when we were sitting at this area above this support. They were calling for 12K, which, again, I was saying that's not even possible. Over here, everyone was saying, 12K. And I was saying 39K. And I said, call me crazy here in parentheses because everyone was calling for 12K. And then guess what happens? We're sitting at what? 46K. And I think we're going much higher soon. So I'm going to give you guys all the deets on that. And again, we'll start off with this chart. Okay. So taking a look at Bitcoin right now, right? Very, very bullish, right? We see a very beautiful range, liquidity tap, which is why I called the bottom on this very, accurately this time. Price runs up, gets rejected, goes up again, and then guess what? This area, which is your range high, becomes a support, and again, price comes up, makes a new high, which is your hint. So the reason why I knew that the price was going to go higher here was because for my Elliott waivers, you guys know what running corrections are, right? A running correction is when we get an A, a B that crosses the wave 5 high, and then a C that does not come back to this A level. That's a running correction, right? It's like an uptrend that's running upwards. Technically, if you were to draw this, it would be an upwards channel, technically, right? Even though it doesn't look like one, because the price made a higher high against the fifth wave, which I'm just gonna draw it just for you guys can see, right? Technically, we made a new high on the B to 5. We also made a higher low from C to A. So that's why this is an upwards running correction for my Elliott waivers. And that's why I knew the prices are going to go much higher here. I called for 39K. Of course, that price target has been exceeded. And right now, again, I believe we're headed to 46K. And I believe this is going to be an area that we stop at. Again, this looks like some type of fifth wave that we're in right now, whether it's starting the fifth wave. I don't know exactly, but if I had to guess, again, it looks like some type of 1, 2. This could be a 3, a 4, and a 5, or it could be 3, 4, and we're watching a 5 play out. But then again, that's not possible because this correction is too short compared to the rest of the waves in this 5 waves up. And basically, if you guys are not following that, you can't have a degree be longer than another degree by so much, right? Because again, everything has to be proportionate, right? In time. So that's something I'm looking at. So I don't have a clear count on this 5 waves up. I'm gonna be brutally honest. But what I do know is that if you look at this from a demand and supply zone trading. So again, if you guys know what supply and demand zones are, they're basically order blocks that are used to capture different supply and demand zones. This is a 6-month supply zone right here. This box, this candle, or this green one that I have drawn, this is a 6MS, which is a 6-month supply zone, which means that this area itself is a resistance. Now, it could be this top area that becomes resistance, right? So again, trading above this level could be a resistance, which I believe is going to get rejected at 46K. Is going to be an area where it's not going to have an easy time breaking, especially in the first try, right? I'm willing to say it's not going to break in the first try. We might get up to 47, 48-ish, but we're going to come back down 100%. If it breaks above it, that's just going to be incredible. That means there's absolute insane amount of resilience behind the bulls. So something to watch out for. But I believe it's not going to break it very easily. It's going to come up a little bit high here. It's going to wick, and it's going to probably fall back down, right? To where does it fall down to? I don't know. But again, it's a very important level for me because it's a 6-month supply zone. So again, it's a very, very strong resistance. And we have the ETF news coming up. Perfect narrative to push a little bit higher. But all in all, I think it's going to fall, right? It's very, very simple. I don't make my TA too complicated. Just like when we called the bottom over here, we didn't make it too complicated. Simply, range low has been hit. Just like we've seen with every other cycle for Bitcoin, there's always a range, a liquidity tap, right? Before it goes up, whether it's at the end of the range. In 2017, it was in the middle of the range. In 2023, it was in the middle as well. But again, it didn't give a chance for people to re-enter, which is why your strategy just differs, right? Because, you know, everybody has a different way of entering trades, exiting trades, analyzing charts. We're all different in different ways. So it requires time, experience to, you know when to market buy sometimes, right? So you're never going to get it perfect. The charts are always going to be different. And anybody who's been trained long enough, I've been in this market for 7 years now, I could definitely tell you that it's never going to be super clear cut and straightforward. So the idea here is that we're definitely seeing this continue to break out. And that's why I'm bullish, right? Again, I am bullish here up to 47K. And do I think Bitcoin is going to make a new all-time high coming up next month? I don't think so. Okay. Now, again, could I be wrong? Yes, of course. Anything can happen in this market. I mean, this market is absolutely insane. But we're going month by month, right? These charts that I do, or in these monthly updates, are for a reason, because I look at this stuff month by month. Because of course, I could sit here and give you a $200,000 prediction, but let's be serious. We're interested in what's happening. We like to look at historical data as it develops, because it helps us predict the next month, right? That's really what this is about, and that's why I do month by month updates, so I can give you guys the forecast. And even over here, guys, total, it's very important to monitor this chart as well, because as you can see, this is another chart I shared in 2022, which has aged very, very beautifully. And that's why I knew the bottom of Bitcoin was also in, because I was monitoring that chart as well. What you can see is very, very clearly that, it looks very similar to Bitcoin, that we ranged at this low, and liquidity was taken from both sides. And then as we reclaimed it, we made a new high, right? We broke out of the range. We're going much, much higher here. And I believe this is going to continue to go higher, which leads me to believe that crypto itself is going to go much, much higher, just like we've seen in the previous cycles as we break above and out of these ranges. So, I mean, it's very, very obvious, right? And again, I do believe we're going to get up to around 2.1 or 2.2 trillion before we get some type of pullback. And when you look even at stable coins, this is a very good indication as well when you use it with others to say, hey, if this is going down, most likely crypto is going up. And when crypto is going up, then this is falling down, right? Like it is right now. Crypto is going up, this is falling down. Our support level is probably around 6.15%. So when it does get to here, this will probably be a support level, which may mean might be time to take some profits. Because again, when this starts going up like it did over here, what you saw was crypto falling horrendously, right? Like if you look at this whole rally from April to June 2022, when we look at Bitcoin at that same exact time, from April 2022 to June, look at that. It's just literally crypto just falling, because this has an inverse relationship with it. And because it looks like it's going to continue to fall a little bit more, it may mean that a support or a resistance specifically for crypto is probably likely ahead, which is why I believe that this 6-month supply zone is probably going to get hit. And we're probably going to see a liquidity tap at this high up here, around 48K. And then from there, everything will reset, and then we'll probably know what exactly is going to happen next. So that's why it's a game of patience. We're going to see what happens. But again, I do want to, give you guys the idea that yes, we're probably going to break out and go a little bit higher here. But when we look at dominance, like I think that's where the real magic is going to happen. And this is probably going to be the number one thing I spoke about this in my last video too, whether or not Bitcoin makes a new all-time high. If Bitcoin dominance topped out here, which it looks like it did, it may mean that Bitcoin may not go for a new all-time high, because of a few different reasons, okay? Well, the first reason is, yes, Bitcoin dominance, it may have locally topped here, but again, I won't say that it 100% locally topped until we get under 48.9%. because if we get down to this level and Bitcoin is still chopping, that probably means that the money is going to continue to rotate out of Bitcoin, right? Into altcoins. Now, if we continue to range here, we probably start chopping sideways here, maybe go up again. It may be possible we get a new all-time high, maybe, right? And so again, it's really a game of just watching these charts, because again, we look on chain as well. Like you can see people with 1,000 addresses just kind of going sideways, people with 100 addresses going sideways, people with 10 Bitcoin is actually dropping, right? The people that are holding about 10 Bitcoin are dropping. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're accumulating altcoins. People with 1 BTC, this is continue to always go up here. 0.1 has continued to go up. And then also 0.01 has always continued to go up. So overall, everything under 10 has always continued to uptrend, no matter what the circumstances of the market are. So we'll have to see how this ages, because again, it's going to be a game of just tracking this stuff on chain, seeing what happens. But my number one concern with Bitcoin is not that, you know, we're going to see, you know, a new all-time high or not. It's mostly that, I'm going to put the BLX chart here, is that, you know, we've seen 5 waves. We've seen 5 waves up, okay? This is your doom scenario, okay? This is a scenario that you don't want to happen, okay? And basically, this is why I believe it's possible that we don't even make a new all-time high, okay? It's just very, very simple, right? We have the halving coming up. The narrative has always been halving, new all-time high, halving, new all-time high, right? And yes, that was always the case up until 2021. And why do I say 2021? Because again, this is where things started changing. Things got funny. After 2021, we double top. Bitcoin has never double topped in its history. In 2017, blow off top. 2013, blow off top. Okay? So already off the bat, Bitcoin has blow off top. Never done that before. Okay? So first thing, Bitcoin double top never happened before. Cool. Guess what? Price falls. It falls to previous all-time highs. That's not normal, right? Not normal at all. And that's kind of worrying. Why? Because that's a sign of weakness. Whether you like to believe it or not, that is a sign of weakness, okay? And that's what Elliott waves is. It basically helps you understand where the emotional, like where the emotions are, essentially, right? How people are thinking about the market, okay? And then it leads to this B wave that kind of says, oh, okay, we're heading back to all-time highs. We're going to go back up again. Everybody's thinking everything's going to be fine again. When in reality, this B wave, it stops. It doesn't go up much higher. And guess what? Then the market makes a new all-time low. So am I saying Bitcoin's going to 8,000? Absolutely not. Am I saying it's possible? Of course it's possible. Because you can't sit here, explain to me that we're making a new all-time high when you're not basing it off of anything, right? When you're going to ignore that Bitcoin failed to make an all-time high. And again, it literally touched the previous all-time high, which has never happened before. And also, we've put in 5 waves, right? That's another thing you have to consider here. We've put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up, right? You literally have had 5 waves to the upside. Bitcoin has pretty much completed 5 waves to the upside. And now we're seeing a correction. And most people are still saying that we're going to get an all-time high. I do not believe that it's so simple that we get an all-time high. I do not believe so at all, right? I'm in a boat now where I'm like 50-50 split, whether we get an all-time high or not. I don't give a shit because I'm positioned in alts for the most part at this point. So it's not that I don't want Bitcoin to go a new all-time high, but I want to advise caution, exercise caution. And again, I do these videos monthly for a reason, because again, if we go much higher here, if we get past my 6-month supply zone, then I'm going to potentially change my mind on Bitcoin, right? Because that's what trading is. Anybody who tells you that they've been trading long enough in this market, we all have levels that we watch for. And if we break out of this level, the 6-month supply level, with strong volume, then maybe it's possible to go to new all-time highs. Or maybe we get a running correction, right? Like I explained earlier in this video. So we'll have to see what happens. And it's going to be just a matter of waiting, because again, even this 5 waves up can have been completed. But what if we are forming some type of triangle, right? What if it's a flat, right? Where we get back to the A level for C, right? What if it's a complex correction? There's so many things that can happen in Elliott wave that a lot of people are not considering. And I'm sharing this because, again, no one is talking about this. Everyone's calling for all-time highs. And again, when I was bullish on Bitcoin and we called the bottom here, everyone was calling for 12K. Even back over here, when it was back at 25 or 23K or whatever, what was this, 27K? Even when we're at this level, people are still calling for 12K. But I was bullish. I was calling for 39K when people were calling for 12K back at this level. And even over here, again, you know, at the bottom, we called it, right? Video's there. You can go check it out. And now when everyone's calling for new all-time highs, I am getting worried because I see very clearly 5 waves up, ABC. Maybe we don't get the all-time high everyone expects. The ETF news is coming out. Everyone's super excited, but guess what? It's not the best type of situation because we've double topped, sign of weakness, because we couldn't break the all-time high with strong conviction to the upside, right? We just kind of trapped long buyers up here. Price falls. We touch an all-time high from the previous cycle, which is not a good sign. Weakness, right? Because you're supposed to make higher lows. Instead, we fall on top of the support. We have our bounce, which I expected. Now the question is, do we go? How much higher do we go? We'll have to see. It's going to be a game of patience. But again, I keep reading this point. I keep reiterating it because I want you guys to understand that, you know, you got to kind of go against the herd sometimes, right? Because again, we're all calling for all-time highs. It's going to be, I would love to just be so cheerful and just continue to think price goes up forever. But there's going to be moments and times where you have to make your own decision. And that's why I'm positioned alt, because again, I do believe that altcoins are going to go high because of this chart, right? Whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's Ethereum, whether it's XRP, I don't know what it is going to be. Whatever coin it is, it's probably going to get back up to around 2.2 trillion. So it gives us some room here, right? So maybe next month we come back to this video, we say, all right, let's see what happens next. But when we look at total 2, when we look at total 3, these charts want to go higher, right? So as I'm betting on alts for the most part, most of the move on Bitcoin itself. I mean, if you were to buy Bitcoin from here, from 44K, what's the next target? 100K? Maybe a 2.5x? When altcoins go up 20, 30, 40x, right? So you got to make your own decision. But I believe we're close to a blow-off top. Or I'm sorry, a local top, okay? I don't know what it's going to look like. ETF news is coming right around the corner, and we'll have to see how that ages. But we're sitting at a 6-month supply zone. So I am slightly worried. And that's pretty much it. I mean, it's very, very simple, guys. You do not need to overcomplicate these charts. Look at the narrative. ETF is the main one. You look at the chart. We are very, very bullish. It looks like we want to go much higher. But at the same time, you must look at the long-term time frame, which I just showed you. Maybe we don't get a new all-time high. You look at the intraday, like I just showed over here. We're probably head to 46, 47, maybe 48 even. But we're probably going to wick because we're at a 6-month supply zone. And that's just it, right? So I gave you the long-term, gave you the short-term, and it's up to you to make your own decision, right? I'm just sharing my opinion. I'm a guy on the internet, just like you are, watching these videos. And I hope I was able to provide you some insight. I've showed you guys my track record, showed you guys different things to look at, to consider and make your own opinion. But at the end of the day, no one knows exactly, unless you're a market maker, some sort, right? Then you probably know exactly what's going to happen, how it's going to happen. You can even time it perfectly. But I like to trade in between the trends, and I am watching like a hawk day in and day out. So if you want more updates like this, though, you can follow me on X, links in the bio. Appreciate you guys making it to the end. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, hodl, hodl, hodl. Peace.